Q&A sessions. The goal is for you, the viewers, to come in, ask any questions you might have about the semiconductor market, about the AI market, or anything regarding this crazy, crazy space. Now, um, yeah, it seems it's another red day today. Obviously, a lot of things happening all over the world. A lot of the tech stocks, everything is red today, right? I can't. Microsoft is actually up 0.26%, so not everything, but a lot of our drivers. And then we see Nvidia down roughly 1.7%. We see Apple down 0.75%. We have Micron. I'm looking here down 7% as well. It's Hey, hold on. And let me share better. I think I was just sharing a slide. Let me share actual screen so we can shift into other um there we go. All right. So yeah, we have Nvidia down roughly 1.7%. We have Broadcom down, we have AMD down, we have Intel down in the 43s. We have Clack, a lot of some equipment players are also down if we look into some of those names, but let's look let's just look at some of these names. Nvidia, nice turnaround here. I wonder what's happening here. This isn't just, I don't think that's just random. Something had to be announced. But Nvidia down 1.76%. AMD stock, let's see how AMD is doing. AMD is down 4.2%. I know AMD had a conference or is having a conference right now with Morgan Stanley. So that's something that I will be doing a video on later today on the channel. But this overall events, Morgan Stanley. We also have some other names that are going to be at the events as well. Google down roughly 3%. Microsoft out of the Max 7 seems to be the only one ripping, not ripping, but at least green, trying to go over water. Amazon down 1.5%. We have Apple down 0.7%. I wonder what Meta is going at right now. So Meta's up about 0.65, but it seems like something has triggered a little bit of a minor reversal. Overall, yeah, things look a little bit scary. A lot of our neo cloud players, CoreWeave. I think today I'm actually going to be buying CoreWeave. So CoreWeave, I am going to be buying. We just did a deep dive on Credo technology over in the community. In the community, we have a live stream before this one, exclusive for just members, and we talked about Credo technologies. That one had I honestly can't see why the market is worried here about Credo today for the stock to drop 17%. Yeah, CoreWeave, is it under 70? Not under 70 yet, but 71.84. Almost there, right? Almost under 70. What are other big boys doing? What is Iron doing? Iron is also down 6% today. Cypher Digital down 6.5%. All the neo cloud players, right, down with it as well. These tend to be higher beta names. Nebius down 5% as well. What is Oracle? Oracle is usually put in this list as well. Oracle only down 1.7%. All right, let's see. Let's get to some questions. Now that we looked at how crazy it kind of looks. So good morning. Good morning. Crazy market, Martin. Is anybody buying anything? I'm curious. I'm gonna be buying today. I definitely am. I'm gonna be buying a little bit into CoreWeave. I think I don't know if I want to do more Astera Labs or Marvell, or maybe even enter Credo. One of those three, or maybe do a little kind of networking ETF with those three players, and maybe maybe Amazon, right? CoreWeave for sure. That's one I'm definitely buying today. But let's see. We see. Let me just fix this really quick. Morning, Jose. Good morning. Good morning, Bernardo. Everything is on sale. Yes, I mean, if one is, it's on prices we saw during those December shorts where I went heavy, right? I've been talking about it, right? December is when I went heavy in the overall portfolio with a lot of these stocks. December, I think we also saw some other sell-offs at some other times, but I do believe December was one of my most recent times to go heavier on the portfolio. And I do like these, as a lot of these stocks are back to some of those levels. So this is where I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive. I don't have as much dry powder as I did for December, Um, but I think I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive during this one as well. I mean, NVIDIA, how is this trading at a forward PE of something, right? Of 22, 23? What's this forward PE right now? So curious to see what y'all are buying. Mr. Chris, Mr. I actually can see it. Mr. I'm just gonna go Christo. I don't like these days. I, eh, I think for if you are an early investor, days like this shouldn't be that scary. It actually should be welcomed if you can put an extra money in. Um, Even I, who's been here for more than a decade already in the market, I don't. I'm not that scared of. I don't. I obviously opening the portfolio sucks, but it's like that's okay. I believe the long term story is still intact. Jose, could you please give your opinion on Credo earnings report last night? Well, like I mentioned, we were just doing a deep dive at the whatthechip.happened.com community. Um, I thought guidance earnings were strong. I don't see why the sell off. We've saw a few things during the deep dive that we were doing, like for example, margin compression, but I don't think that's actually an actual story. I think algos are running on the wrong story about margin compression. And then the fear of optics kind of eating the copper market. So, like the fear of AECs being reduced. And I also think that's not a massive fear. So, I think there's just a lot of fears with Credo. Obviously, the stock saw massive growth in the past year or so. But I don't know. I wanted to create kind of like a little mini ETF for networking, and I think I'm gonna go with Credo, with Astera, and with Marvell. I already own Marvell and Astera, so Credo has become it's becoming interesting here. Um, so I'll make a decision later today, but Credo is high on the list. 100%. I don't think it's crazy that this is my second biggest position, right? With massive, massive money, and it doesn't seeing at 70s really doesn't like shake me up. Um, I just I my conviction on this one is crazy. Um, but I agree, this one is definitely not for the weak. But I think you can say that with any of them, right? I mean, Nebius was at 100, Iron was like at 47, no, at 38. I think percentage points, CoreWeave definitely has a bigger gap, but I think most neo cloud players are not for the weak. You need to have that crazy, crazy conviction. Um, and you need to be a little bit nuts. You definitely do. But definitely not for the weak. Definitely not for the weak. Yeah, so I didn't think guidance was bad at all. It's about more CoreWeave. This guy, he's either crazy like me or just crazy like me. Oh, nice. Nice. I like these buys. I really do. I think these are great buys. I might follow you and do both here. Oh, I will buy Creo more. I will buy more CoreWeave if under 70. Yeah, I think for me with the position size that I have, like when I really start to go on is 70s and then below, right? Then a little bit some in the 60s. Because it's not impossible for us to get 67 or 68s. I'm buying. Nice, nice. So you shouldn't hate. You shouldn't hate these days, right? People are buying CoreWeave, Nebius, and Glow. Corning? Corning, is that Glow? Corning. NVIDIA did the investment in yesterday. This is one I'm a little bit hesitant off this one in light. They're doing really well. Kind of like the optics of the memory space, or kind of like what we're seeing in the memory market, right? Extremely, extremely crazy performance. 100 and these can continue to dominate, right? But I don't know. I haven't done my research here yet to really have a full bullish case. So I'm kind of holding back on this and light. Simon, yeah, I mean, A-Lab. What's going on, Simon? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Astera Labs. Yeah, I don't know. Credo, both did valuations don't even seem that crazy anymore, right? Credo is like forward PE of like 30, and they're expecting 50% year-over-year growth on guidance. I think it's 31 forward PE ratio here for Credo. For Astera Labs is a little bit higher than that. But these are cool ones. Not semiconductor related, not semiconductor related, but did you guys see this? C stock up 23%. It was like 200 a few less than a year ago, right? This is one I used to like a lot. Then I kind of stopped focusing too much on international and e-commerce. Um, but it's wild to see this one drop. See earnings miss estimates on competition from TikTok, Lasta, and some of the other social commerce, right? Social commerce has become a more important thing. Um, Pandora, forward PE of 17. Who are we talking about here? Are we talking about Nvidia? I don't think Nvidia is forward. I guess it depends on your estimates, right? I guess it also depends on your estimates. I think some of the more bullish analysts do have a way higher earnings per share projection for this upcoming next 12 months. But let's look here, fiscal.ai. If you guys need a platform, fiscal.ai/Jose. But this is kind of like the average forward PE of 21.73. Let's actually look at estimates. I'm actually curious now. So let's look at earnings per share. The highest, the high of 2027, let's look here. Highest of 2027 is 9.4, right? 9.4 um, earnings per share. So let's look, what is the stock sitting? 180 divided by 9.4. So the high analysts have some forward PE ratio of around 19 for Nvidia right now. That's crazy. That's crazy. On the low end, let's see on the low end, right? What do analysts expect on the low end? On the low end, the lowest analyst earnings per share is $7.62. What is that? We're gonna divide by $7.62. 23. That's still crazy. The low end of analysts on earnings per share has a forward PE ratio of roughly 23 for Nvidia. That is wild. I'm not sharing screen, but I was doing calculator, so you guys didn't see my math calculation. But on the high end here, this puts Nvidia at a forward PE of about 19. On the low end, it puts Nvidia at a PE of 20. What did I say? 20, 23, almost 24, which is still crazy cheap for on the low end. That's wild. If that's not wild, I don't know what wild is. This market is wild too. That's another thing that's wild. This is not. I did not expect this to be I didn't think anyone would say this year or any day this year. So Bernardo here says Adobe is my best performing today. We did see that bearish man Michael Burry, right? Michael Burry, is that his last name? Is it Blurry or Burry? It's not Blurry, right? It's Burry. I don't know. That guy, he is bullish on Adobe. Is that what his Substack said? I don't know. I saw kind of news floating around. Did he post it on X or is it on his Substack? But up 3% today. The SaaS market is done thanks to Mr. Burry. We gotta end Nvidia, right? Boop, 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 boop. But that is crazy. I sold Oklo and Rocket Lab to buy CoreWeave and Nebius. Hey, I don't follow Oklo too much. I haven't seen that market too much. The cybersecurity space is definitely pretty tricky for me. But sold some Oklo here to get into. I mean, I like the names you got into. And I think both are some different times. Are we in the bottom of this illusionment? Depends on which side, right? Are we at the bottom of the delusional AI bulls, or are we at the bottom of the delusional AI bears? Which side are we talking about? The which side? I hope we're at the bottom of the delusional AI bears. I do think so. I mean, I personally think the AI market is going to continue to run. This is always the question though with days like today. It's like very exciting times. Oh, Oklo. You know what? I was thinking of Oklo as not of Okta. I wasn't thinking of Oklo as the complete nonsense there. I was thinking of Oklo as Okta, the cybersecurity name, not Oklo, the nuclear power name. So embarrassing. Extremely embarrassing. This was actually um now I'm curious to see what Okta has done. Do they even kind of have the same logo? No, not really. Am I just being logo saying, "Oh, logos look the same"? Logolist. But yeah, very exciting time. So much I want to buy, but how much will it fall? I mean, that's the $1,000,000 question every dip. How much will it fall? That's for me. I like to put work over time, right? Never go all in at once. Because if you do go all in at once, when I go all in at once, though, the dip keeps on dipping. But I like this dip at these levels. I consider this a dip now, with a lot of names. What is AMD? Is AMD in the 180s now? It's like just buy more of my core products, right? It's like I don't really want to look too much into new names. The only new name I really want to look into right now is maybe Credo, but outside of that, it's more just focus on core products. Another one that I think somewhat sometimes looks interesting is Snowflake. Has anybody done any research on Snowflake? Should I just I haven't done the research. Obviously, I'm not gonna buy on you guys said yes, it's amazing, but it's more like, is it worth doing research on Snowflake or should I just ignore it? But that's fiscal year 2020. No, no, no. Fiscal year 2027 PE Nvidia is fiscal year 2027 is what we're in right now, which is calendar year of 2026. Fiscal you might have them confused, Pandora here. So calendar year of 2026, which is fiscal year 2027 for NVIDIA, is that 21, 22 that we saw. Where you're talking about the 17 for PE ratio of 17, this is calendar year 2027, which is fiscal year 2028, right? And I'm guessing this is now if you're looking at averages, which it seems like you are, um, remember, their fiscal year is about a year ahead of calendar year. So this PE of 2027 is for calendar year of 2027, which is fiscal year of 2028. Well, it's great. Yeah, I hear a lot of obviously, if you've been in the shares for a long time now in the optic space, you're going to say this, right? You're going to say these are the greatest. Um, these are the greatest stocks right now. They are great. We definitely see kind of that supply constraint market like we saw for the memory space here in the optic side. Uh, Next question here. We're talking a little bit about Supermicro now. So Bach third place. What about Supermicro? I talk a little bit of I talked about Supermicro in the past. I don't My thesis hasn't changed. The volume story is there, right? The revenue story is there for Supermicro. We see a massive guidance that they're giving for they did $12 billion in quarter one. They're expected to do $12 billion in quarter two. They're giving a guidance of about north of $40 billion, I think it was in for the full year. That is massive revenue growth on a year-over-year basis and a quarter-over-quarter basis. Um, but to me, it's not where I would like to put my money in, especially now, right? This is a market where I feel there's a lot of opportunities, right? There's the Max Sevens, the Neo Cloud player, be it your Nebius, your Corys, your Iron, however you want to play it, but your Neo Cloud players, chip companies still, where I feel like if you have a better moat stance, I would rather put my money there. Maybe if everything else was green and crazy up, and Supermicro sitting at these market caps, I would have a different story. But with the overall opportunities, I would rather look somewhere else because the margin compression is definitely there, right? Management has stated that they will get better margins over time, but they've been saying that for a while now. They've been saying that for definitely a while now. So for that reason, I'm just not a fan of management, not a fan of the business, but the growth story is definitely there. Now we have a discussion here on geopolitical issues, and I saw Big Buck. I don't know if you're here, Big Buck. If I saw you posted on, send me something on X. I'll take a look at that. But Hades TV. Do you think the current geopolitical tension, if it keeps escalating, it will put CoreWeave out of business? Is it a thought I have due to the nature of the business and the interest it's paying? Hades, I don't know if the geopolitical tensions would create um would make this company go out of business. CoreWeave is very, very much US based, right? Um, so I don't see how that could put pressure here on CoreWeave. I just don't see Katie's. I can't put a correlation between the two with the current geopolitical tensions. Um, I don't think. I think the market will be scared, so it'll be more of like a risk on approach. And when you're like on a risk on approach, you tend to stay away from high beta names, which means less buyers, which means potentially more sellers. And with more sellers, you kind of see bigger decreases in stock prices, right? As people try to go into kind of go on a risk on approach. So I think the geopolitical tensions create more of a volatility for the stock price. I don't think it creates a volatility for the business, as I don't think companies are going to stop using um, are going to stop using CoreWeave because of the issues happening right now. Um, let's see. Oh wow, Renato here saying Palo Alto Networks. Is that what this one? One of the best performings. Oh, nice. Cybersecurity market is not dead. It seems. It seems Fortinet is also up. CrowdStrike green. We see Zscaler also up. I wonder if something is happening in the cybersecurity space that is kind of driving all these stock prices up right now. Let me just see really quickly what Big Buck sent me on X. Oh, it was more geopolitical stuff from Big Buck. 999, the nerd. Awesome Palantir, Friday. How's Palantir doing today? Is it holding up with these overall tensions? I would have expected it to. Um, so if you bought on Friday, it doesn't matter when you bought. At least you're a nice green. Um, question for you, the nerd. Did you end up buying Palantir because of the tensions, geopolitical tensions, or just more? So more like, was it like a short term look into what could be happening right here, or is it more that you just like the opportunity and looking to be a long term investor? Curious to see what ended up driving here. Um, Ivan, I wish I knew the answer. How low will CoreWeave go? If I was to give somewhere, I think it would be mid 60s. So 66, 67 is where I think it could go. Will it go there? That's a whole different series. CoreWeave just hit my buy price, but I was waiting for Nebius or NVIDIA to go to 75, 170 respectively. So are you going to end up buying CoreWeave here, BMS mob, or are you going to wait instead for Nebius? I mean, obviously it's possible, but Nebius to 75, what would be the trigger point there? I mean, I think for CoreWeave earnings was kind of like a trigger point for it to be a little bit down more than the other players. But what is going to create Nebius to go to 175? NVIDIA to 170, not the craziest thing, right? I mean, for NVIDIA, that's what, like a 1.5% movement again. This is wild. Simon cooked here, light at 750. That is insane. And it's, well, if you tell me that was the top-ish, close to the top-ish. This guy came in clutch there. 783 was the top. That is really nice, Simon. Are you putting the money to work here, Simon? Did you end up buying anything here with those light profits, or sitting right now? We got a new CoreWeave bag holder with us. Just kidding, just kidding. Just bought 25 shares of CoreWeave for 72.5 and have another in for 25 shares at 750. Nice, nice, nice. Like we see, like someone said here on the stream earlier, CoreWeave is definitely not for weak hands. Um, I do believe at these levels though, you eliminate a lot of the risk. Obviously, you can still go down from here, but a lot of the risk has been destroyed, has been eliminated, in my opinion. Now, this is another one, kind of when we were talking about Supermicro, right? Dell's margins got better, which is crazy, right? It's this could also be kind of a bearish case for Supermicro, right? Because if we look, let's look at the other thing though, gross margins. Let's look at gross margins, gross profit margins, and I don't need these players. Let's look at Supermicro and Dell. I mean, I always find this chart to be insane, right? At one point, Supermicro was so close, right? In Q3 of 2022, look how close Supermicro was compared to Dell Technologies in forms of gross profit margins. You were what, like 500 basis points away? Yeah, 5%. Yeah, about 23, about 500 basis points. And look how it shifted. Dell also saw some pain, but now it's about 1400 basis points away. So almost a 3x. That is wild. That divergence there between the gross margins. So one of the things that I believe is scaring investors, right? But it's like it's definitely going to take some time to get back to at least these levels. Um, Roger, what am am I buying heavy right now? I don't have kind of the massive amount of dry powder, but I will be buying here. Um, Maybe increase my position an extra 20% or so, I would say. If that, like I can't double my position, right? I can't double it. But I will be buying. I'll be buying with what I can with this one. Um, Roger. Cybersecurity is up because everyone just realized we still need cybersecurity, LL, which is true, right? I mean, the market has things that we're no longer gonna. I don't. It's wild to think that we're not gonna need cybersecurity companies, right? Or that somehow AI, right? With all these crazy AI agents, with all these crazy ways to manipulate AI to kind of install or have add-ons of malicious stuff behind it, um, or downloads or requests or packages. I think cybersecurity companies are going to be a lot more important. Now, I would say that I think for the world the cybersecurity market is going, you have to be innovating to be able to stop the new threat, right? I do believe threats of AI agents attacking you, attacking a business is going to be possible. And it's already possible. We've seen some of those stories like that already. I mean, I think Anthropic has talked about it in the past. So you need to be a cybersecurity company that can innovate with that space. Um, Jeffrey here is asking my thoughts on Melly and United Health. Unfortunately, I don't have much. I don't have. I don't have much. Sorry, my wife just sent me a crazy, crazy text message. I'll respond to her in a bit though. I don't have much thoughts on Nelly. I know. Sorry, my wife texted me again. Let me just text. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just text her. Um, yeah, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, Mercado Libre. Uh, a lot of people that I follow, like I know Neil, I think is extremely bullish in this one. I mean, if you have this massive e-commerce in South America, Central America, and you have a market cap of $85 billion, and certain companies in the semiconductor space have a much higher. Um, and now my dad texted me too. I can respond to him later. What the heck is happening? Weird. No one texts me. Usually no one texts me. And today, people are texting me like no tomorrow. My dad is actually dropping me off a cheesesteak, which is great, right? W dad. Feel like a little kid now. My dad dropping me off lunch. The W dad there. But yeah, Mercado Libre. Sorry. Mercado Libre. I don't follow it, but sitting at $100 billion market cap, like I can see why people would find like a growth story here. Right. You have a lot of the e-commerce opportunities in South America and Central America. So I have on the top level, bullish thoughts there. On United Health, the healthcare market, I have no thoughts on this one. I mean, obviously, massive hit recently, but and now somebody else just what the heck? Now my cousin is texting me. Is everybody just watching my live stream and just wants to text me right now? My cousin's texting me. Did you guys see the McDonald's CEO eating a burger? That was wild. Again, I don't know why everybody's decided to text me today. Um, but let's see what else do we have. What is your X account? And I want to follow. It's not underscore Jose Najarro. Let's look. I If you don't follow me there, definitely check it out. I post usually mainly during earnings. It's very rare for me to put anything new. Um, so it's usually during earnings or when some crazy big AI event has happened. So obviously last week with NVIDIA earnings, with AMD earnings, I share my overall thoughts there. But _/Jose Najarro, most of my content you're gonna find here on YouTube. I try to do a video every single day. So this is where you're gonna find me mainly. But let's see. Kevin here. This is a thought I feel like a lot of AMD investors also have. Think that for AMD, we can't believe this entry in about 6 months when MI4. I agree. I think for AMD investors, when the MI450 revenue comes out and the market loves it, we're gonna be like, but we've been talking about this for almost a year now. Like this shouldn't be a surprise, right? But it's still going to shock people that we were able to buy AMD at a market cap of $300 billion. I believe in the next few years, AMD has the opportunity. And I'm not saying this as NVIDIA's game over, right? It's just this market is so freaking huge that AMD at a market cap of $1 trillion is not the craziest thing. I mean, Broadcom is 1.4 trillion, obviously has a lot more revenue in the AI market. But when we see that when we see the MI450 revenue come out, I think we're going to start to get a lot closer to Broadcom's revenue on the kind of like a yearly basis. Uh, no way. All the lame stocks. Just kidding. I know it's not lame. But are all these hated stocks? PayPal is ServiceNow that up? Like I feel like that one's hated. Yeah, ServiceNow is up. Is software? I guess like software names are down up. What's another one that was hated a lot? Adobe we saw is doing great. What's another hated stock? Duolingo, is that up today? Nope. Duolingo didn't pass the test. Duolingo did not pass the test. Under 100. This is crazy. At what at what point though does Duolingo somehow become like? I'm curious if Duolingo right now one thing that's being used is kind of like can Duolingo become a service where the user is playing with it, but in reality is helping train the model? You know how there's how do you say that? The captcha when you have to how do you say this? Captcha. Captcha. I don't know. But you know how this is pretty much like when you get these things, this is pretty much helping train AI as well. To kind of like, oh, what's this and what's that? You're kind of a little bit helping train AI with that. Can Duolingo get into a market where it somehow helps train AI one way or another, and then it becomes a massive buying opportunity? If the CEO does that, that was my idea. Duolingo. Let's see what else do we have. Um, Chime, do you know about small cap indie Jose? Do you know about small cap indie semiconductors? The only thing I would say here with this one is I follow I don't follow it too much. I know it originally focused a lot in the automotive market, right? Do they do power solutions? Um, Now the question is, can they translate some of those solutions that used to be in the automotive market, which a lot of people are doing in the automotive market, can they transition to somewhat into the data center place if they focus more on power solutions? I wonder if it's more on power solutions. Outside of that, this is a market cap that a small one that I don't follow too much, right? But $3.23, market cap of 711 million. Any press release, these are stories that move on press release. Any press release of somehow entering into a data center market, into an AI market with some other power solutions, if that's what they focus on, could create some bullish sentiment in the short term of things. But not one I would be buying right now. Let's see, what else do we have here? What's going on, Big Buck? Big Buck, I saw you message me on X. I'll read that in a bit. Supermicro and Dell have pricing power in servers now. HPE is the silent play. Did HPE report earnings? Um, are you saying because the demand for servers is so crazy that they have the pricing power right now? I'm also curious to see how like all the memory prices impact them as well. Right? That's to me the servers place is just one too competitive, and it depends too much on supply chain pricing. Uh, right. So Simon, we talked to Simon earlier. I was asking him, he had a nice position on Light. He sold Light at a 750. So amazing for Simon. He purchased at $90. Um, I asked him what he was going to do with his position. He says, I wanted to buy out the cash position strong as we have volatile markets. So only small DCA into names I can improve my cost basis. Bought quite a bit of SoFi in the 17s. It's always weird to me. I always find it so weird, but obviously it's like people buy other things outside of AI stocks, right? Obviously, it's not just you don't have to be just an AI stock investors, but someone like Simon, right? I know Simon is like light. I know he's big into like iron, and he's big in. I know he does research into some of these smaller cap names. So to hear sometimes people like go that I in my mind I think are just like pure AI players, and then see SoFi is like I forget there's another market out there. I'm not saying those markets are bad. It's just I'm sometimes so close minded into those spaces. Watching Cloudflare. Cloudflare is another one um, that has become a little bit attractive here with price dips. Net Cloudflare. It's funny. I use Cloudflare to run a lot of my websites. Their consumer, at least website solutions, are pretty easy and cheap, but I'm pretty sure the market opportunities for them is elsewhere, right? It is somewhere else. But a lot of the sites that I have are kind of run based on like Cloudflare DNS. Um, Sadav is telling us here, giving us his story. I am down 4 to 5% last time I checked. Now I'm listening to trash metal, pretending that nothing has happened. I think that's the story, right? Sometimes just close the market, act like nothing is happening, go play some games, go hang out with families, go do whatever that you enjoy. Um, and then come back a few weeks and hopefully things are better. Are we doing some yellow trades for Broadcom this week? What are yellow trades, Roger? Does that mean earnings trade? What are yellow trades? I'm not sure what yellow trades. Or do we mean YOLO trades? Are we saying YOLO trades, Roger, and the overall market did you get auto corrected here? Heck no, I'm not LLM can't text my wife. No, it's just me. Just kidding. Uh, oh, it wasn't the McDonald's CEO. So Big Buck is telling me it was the Burger King CEO. I thought it was the. This is wild. People, do CEOs not eat their burgers? So earlier we talked about Melly. Big Buck here. Just kind of share some thoughts here. I'm still long Melly since 2017. Still showing great numbers, and Latin America is huge, massive, massive. Um, so it seems we get a nice amount of overall Melly bulls here. So now thoughts on Oracle. I mean, Oracle's story is you have a few things for Oracle, right? The first thing is just the overall AI infrastructure play, right? So that's the first kind of story you have for Oracle. The second story you have for Oracle is the database it has. And obviously the database solution can actually be a nice growth in this AI market. When all these companies, if we get into a market where all these enterprises want to somehow improve their AI solutions by integrating their own database into whatever fine-tuned model that they're working on. I think Oracle, since it has that massive database and is integrated in all these software solutions, has that opportunity. I think Larry talked a little bit about it during the last earnings. Let's jump into quarter. I'm curious to see really quick. Um, let's look at Oracle. Oracle here. Um, let's look here. I am curious to say, did Larry mention any growth opportunities with storage and its AI? Storage database and AI. Or someone had to mention something, right? I'm curious to see. But I do think this has become kind of like Larry frames the Oracle AI database and AI data platform as the convergence of Oracle's three core software pillars: database, applications, and cloud. The central value proposition is enabling the latest AI models to perform multi-step reasoning. He emphasizes that training AI models on public data is the largest, fastest growing business in history, but argue that AI models reasoning on private data will be an even larger and more valuable business. And Oracle's database contains most of the world's high value private data. Um, so that's the one I was thinking about. He's been kind of really talking about that. Then the vectorization. Um, so converting the Oracle database into a vector AI database, allowing AI models to understand and reason over data stored with it. So that's another opportunity, right? Many people just think about it for its AI infrastructure place, but then you also do have kind of like that data market behind it. So there's bullish takes for it based on the overall market. Um, sorry, I just texted my dad back. But I think that's some of the things that Oracle investors forget. How bullish are you personally on AMD compared to CoreWeave? Hades, this is a great question. Um, let me say, I I think both. I'm very bullish on both. If compared to, I would say equally bullish, right? I think both of them are multi-bagger opportunities. Um, if I was to say which one was, I mean, it's weird, right? Because with AMD, you have the competition nonstop of NVIDIA, and you have the competition nonstop of ASIC. But I still believe that um, GPU needs and compute needs are going to continue to grow. I both these are my number two and number three position, Hades, right? So I would say for both of them, they're very, very bullish, but definitely for different markets, both kind of all in the AI ecosystem, but obviously one more in the AI infrastructure and one more in the AI compute. But yeah, that got me. I would say both very equal, very equal. Now, you didn't ask me this, and no one said this, but if I can only pick one, if I can, I don't know. I don't even know why I asked myself that question if I knew I didn't know the answer for it. So no one asked if I had to pick between AMD and Corey, who would I pick? No one better ask me that. AMD is going to fall to 150. The tech is out of favor. That people are cutting back. That the worst sector to buy. They're getting the what? Michael, what? I mean, if AMD could fall over 50s, I mean, I think it's I think you have more support in the 180s. If you were said 180s, I'd probably be like, okay, 150s, not impossible. The market is always can always prove us wrong. Um, at 150s, I would pick Adobe, Amazon or CoreWeave any day. If we ever get AMD to 150, that to me is almost a no brainer. I agree here, Simon. I think Duolingo is a cult. No other explanation as to why people like it so much. Like cult for investors or cult for users? Um, Simon, like where is the cult? I think there's a cult. Um, there's a cult of investors. Wow, that's deep about that's how my brain works sometimes. It's some weird thoughts of how my brain works. It might not make sense to some people, but to other people, it makes sense. And that's all that matters. Because look at this. The founder of Duolingo actually created CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA, whatever it's pronounced. Uh boom, boom. Fireworks, because that's me blowing my own mind. Bernardo's sharing us his mini SaaS ETF. Adobe Now CRM is up to date, as well as Microsoft. They are actually my best performing stocks today so far. Those are definitely the ones I hear a lot about, right? In the I don't know what ServiceNow does. Is ServiceNow just but I hear that one. ServiceNow, Adobe CRM. Again, I wonder if Snowflake could enter into that list. Financial Conspirator. Thoughts on MSTR? That's not Monster, right? Monster Strategy? No, it's called MicroStrategy, right? MicroStrategy. It's just called Strategy now. Was it? Did it used to be MicroStrategy? Am I bugging? Oh no, formerly known as MicroStrategy. Why do you have so a small strategy? What kind of name is that? But I mean, I guess you can say the same with Microsoft. And then I don't know. Never mind. I guess there's a lot of micro companies. Micron is micro N, I guess. Never mind. I guess micro is used in a lot of names. But still. Besides the point. No thoughts here. I don't really follow the Bitcoin space. Um, but I want to share that because I didn't want you to think I overskipped that. Sadaf, do I follow Pure Storage, which has recently been shared to Everpure? Weird ass name, right? How do you go to Everpure stock? That just, I don't know. That sounds like a call to me. Everpure, um, I haven't, but in the storage market space that I'm kind of researching, I might just do a little bit more deep dives on this one. On this one's on my list to do deep dives, and look, it's come down a nice amount. Past year, it's up about 25%. It's like, sure, if I missed it, if I didn't buy in March, that's okay. Some of the other stocks that I own are up over 25%, so it's not like I missed too much. But Sadaf, do you own Everpure, aka Pure Storage? Do you recommend looking into it? Does anybody here own Pure Storage? Any recommendation if we should look into this in future episodes? Anthropic uses Amazon Clouds. Anthropic uses all three now, right? Anthropic uses Microsoft, and they use Google Cloud, and they use Amazon. So they use all three. I think most of their solutions are on Amazon, but they are expanding out of it. If I think we were to look at the bulk load of where most of their compute is at, Microsoft, Amazon would be the big one. AMD or CoreWeave? I don't know. CoreWeave is my second biggest position, so I guess I have to go CoreWeave. But like, do I have other stocks? Can I still, if I still hold Nvidia, then CoreWeave. If I only have one stock to pick, and again, I'm just asking another question that completely didn't matter. If I have Nvidia, I would go with CoreWeave. If I didn't, if it's only a one stock portfolio, I think I would do AMD. Bernardo, what is your average cost on CoreWeave? Around $91. $91. But my first buy was in the 40s, then we sold in the 180. So I don't know if you want to count that. which doesn't count my cost average. But if you had that, then my cost average would be a lot lower. But I did sell at higher, much higher. But my current trench, is that the proper way to go about it? My current CoreWeave trench is about 91. Hi, Jose. If you have to sell to buy SanDisk, which one would you sell, Amazon or AMD? Oh man, if I have to. So this is a have to, right? This is a gotcha moment. You have to do something stupid to do something stupid. Um, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. I'm just not a fan of SanDisk. But there's obviously the bullish case. If I don't know personally, you're saying if I have to, so I have to make a choice. I would say this is America. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to. Um, and then after that, you would be like, no, you still have to choose one. If I had to choose one, I think I would sell Amazon because I do believe AMD has the opportunity to be a massive multi-bagger. I'm not saying I would buy SanDisk. It's just based on the question Wilson asked, right? Wilson asked me this question. I personally wouldn't sell any of these for SanDisk, but if I had to, out of those two, um, I would sell Amazon just because I believe there's more growth opportunities in AMD. Is it time, Dwight? Now I gotta go watch The Office, Dwight. Now I have to go watch The Office. Office is the greatest show ever. If you guys has anybody not watched The Office? I always find it weird when people say I've never seen The Office. Like, really? I've seen it 1,000 times every episode. I can do a whole stream of just saying the whole series by heart. I can act all the people out, every single line. Just kidding. I can't do that. But Nvidia is cheap right now. I agree. Nvidia is extremely cheap. CoreWeave or Nebius or Iron. I mean, Jeffrey. Are you new to the channel, Jeffrey? Jeffrey. If I had to pick one, I'd pick CoreWeave. Right. I own all three, more CoreWeave than Nebius and more Nebius than Iron. But if I had to pick one, I like CoreWeave. But I am a crazy AI nut, right? I am crazy into this AI story. I think if you are looking for a more rounded player, Nebius might be one that gets your attention. But to me, I am looking for that crazy player to take this crazy market by storm. And I think CoreWeave is going to do that. Who the heck is, I don't want to be rude. I don't know Chris Camillo. Is he famous? I don't know much people. I live under a rock a lot of times. I just focus in my era of semiconductors. Founder of Done Money. Oh, okay. I know I think that, again, I've seen the podcast, right? Podcast on the financial space. I honestly don't know much about them, but I don't think Amazon a 4x from here. That's wild. In what time frame? I am bullish on Amazon. I think Amazon is definitely amazing value in the Max 7 right now. So $8 trillion. Where's Nvidia? If Amazon is at 8 trillion, that's because their cloud revenue grew like crazy. So they must be buying a lot of chips. If Amazon is at 8 trillion, what does that make Nvidia into? Jose, do you follow any rare earth stocks? I do not. Not a space that grabs my attention. I have not seen an Off the Office. What are you watching on Netflix? It used to be on Netflix, right? I almost debated how have you not seen The Office? I guess the humor is not for everybody though. The humor is definitely not for everybody. I don't know. I feel like if one watches it, I think it's humor that can also get cringy at times. It's cringy humor. There's one episode at The Office that I have to skip completely every time I do a rewatch, just because it's so cringy. But it's if cringe humor is not your thing, I think maybe The Office might be cringe to watch. Um, but Peacock is where I watch it. They it used to be on Netflix, then it went back to Peacock. There are news saying OpenAI immense Pentagon deal as Sam Altman. That means it looks sloppy. I wonder if that has any implication on the AI sector players. Yes, Hades. So yesterday, if we look, I think on yesterday, if we go to X, let's jump onto X. Sam Altman kind of did a reflection of what was happening. Sam Altman. Too bad he's alternate. Would have been cool if his name was Main Man, right? He's the main character. So he mentions we are going to amend our deal to add this language in addition to everything else. I just find it weird, right? When you like make a deal, I don't know how much of the deal has been made, but it's like crazy. You make a deal and then you'd be like, you know what? I don't like the deal. Let's change it up. It's like you get a more. I don't know. Once you get a deal, you sign the deal. What is there to amend? You signed it, right? Um, but they mentioned they were going to amend some stuff. I don't know if we've seen kind of a repercussion like we saw with Anthropic when they made some changes to the deal. It does seem like though the changes did come from both sides. Oh, easy. NVIDIA every day of the week. Adrian Santos, right? I mean, for 5 years, I think the robotic story is going to be there for Tesla. I don't know if I don't know. I prefer, I think NVIDIA for me. If Tesla is innovating and has some crazy stuff, I think the world is also innovating, and that's going to be really good for NVIDIA. So if I had to choose one, this one to me is an easy pick for me. Easy pick. Easy. CoreWeave greater than Nebius. To others, it might be a different story. Would you buy OpenAI, Anthropic, SpaceX if they go public this year? I don't think so. I would say a lot of those stocks are going to be very heavily valued, especially the AI companies. And I'm going to guess a lot of these AI companies are also going to be just doing a lot of offerings to just raise more cash, right? Because that's, if they go public, that's going to be one of the things that they're going for, right? Is to have the ability to raise more cash a lot faster. It's that's what Jose said, Michael. But yeah, I would definitely not buy the AI models companies comes. I'm gonna guess they're gonna be using their shares and try to dilute as often as possible to buy more cash. SpaceX, I think it's, if I really wanted to enter the space market, I think Big Buck has shown me to maybe look somewhere else. I wouldn't buy SpaceX. It'll be too massive already. Jose, what's a good price to start a position in Nebius? Thank you. I mean, I'd like it at these levels. That stocks can continue to go lower, right? But it's like, if I wanted to just start off 80s, I mean, I don't think this is crazy. I mean, I think you have real strong mid 70s is also good, but will you get to mid 70s? Who knows? So maybe trenches a little bit here, a little bit if we get to mid 70s. But I think anything sub 100 after their earnings were great. I think Nebius earnings were amazing. Jose, do you know which chip makers have the best exposure to the drones market? I do not, and this might actually be a great question to look into. I didn't want to say that because then everybody, I feel like when you say that, they're like, this guy, he's one of those, right? It's like you own exposure through it already, through Google. But yes, Ronald is right. What do they own? Oh, close to 10%, right? Is it close to 10%? Yeah. But my lovely, lovely friends, I am gonna head out. I appreciate the time here. We did about an hour live stream. Welcome to the Market Lunch. If this is your first time, we try to do this every single day around 11 to 12. But like I mentioned, the wife is not here, so I have a little bit more task to do around the work and with the little ones. So I want to optimize some of my time for work and videos as well. So live stream just an hour this week for sure, but I will be trying to do one every single day. So I'll catch you all later. I'll be dropping a video, I think on AMD. I think I'll drop a video on AMD today. If you haven't, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. If you want to join a great community, make sure to check out whatthechipHappened.com. We do a lot of deep dives there, a lot of great research. If you just go to whatthechipHappened.com, you automatically get 33% off. If you use that link, you'll see the link there. But take care, have a good day, and see you all next time. Time to end this stream.